The sky above the military base burned with the red glow of sunset. Smoke rose from the distant training fields, twisting like restless spirits. Captain Raiden stood alone on the edge of the command tower, watching the shadows stretch across the concrete. His mission had been simple, or so he had thought. Now the faces of the leaders who had sent him here seemed unfamiliar cold. "You're sure he'll survive this?" One officer muttered behind him. Raiden didn't turn. "He has to. That's the plan, isn't it?" The officer hesitated, then gave a bitter laugh. "The plan? More like a way to get rid of you. If you come back, it'll be a miracle." Raiden's jaw tightened. He had known the moment he was assigned to this mission that something felt wrong. The planet they were sending him to wasn't mapped properly. Intelligence reports were incomplete. And now, standing on the edge of the base, watching the sun sink behind the mountains, he realized the truth. They didn't want him to return. He clenched his fists. "I won't fail," he whispered, almost to himself. "Even if they want me gone." A sudden beep interrupted his thoughts. The command center's intercom crackled to life. "Captain Raiden, prepare for departure. Shuttle leaves in 30 minutes. Raiden walked down the stairs, his boots echoing against metal steps. Every eye in the base seemed to follow him, judging, doubting, waiting. He reached the hangar bay and found the shuttle waiting, sleek and gray against the darkening sky. Its engines hummed like a living creature. "Sir," a young pilot said, saluting nervously. "Everything is ready." Raiden nodded. "Good, let's make it quick." As he stepped onto the shuttle, a voice called after him. "Remember, Raiden, the planet is dangerous, really dangerous." Raiden didn't answer. He knew. He had read the files, seen the warnings. But danger didn't scare him. Betrayal did. The shuttle lifted off, shaking slightly as it pierced the atmosphere. Through the window, Raiden watched the base shrink into a dot, swallowed by the fading light. He couldn't help thinking about the faces of the commanders, the ones who had planned his death under the guise of duty. A bitter taste filled his mouth. "You think they'll really let me die?" He muttered aloud, staring at the distant horizon. The pilot shrugged. Wouldn't be the first time they sent someone to their death. Raiden's hand tightened around the armrest. "Not me." Hours passed in silence. The stars stretched endlessly outside, a tapestry of cold light. The shuttle shook as it entered the atmosphere of the alien planet, clouds whipping against the windows. Raiden felt a surge of unease, a chill crawling down his spine. He had trained for every possible scenario, yet nothing could have prepared him for the sense of isolation that came from knowing the people you trusted wanted you dead. The shuttle's landing was rough, throwing Raiden forward. Alarms blared and the cabin lights flickered. The pilot struggled with the controls. "Almost there. Hold on." The shuttle slammed onto the rocky terrain, skidding before coming to a halt. Raiden's heart pounded. Dust filled the cabin, and he coughed, blinking through the haze. Outside, the alien landscape stretched endlessly. Jagged mountains, dark forests, and strange glowing plants that pulsed with a faint, eerie light. This is worse than I imagined," Raiden muttered. Stepping to the open hatch, the wind hit him like icy knives. "And I haven't even faced the real danger yet." He glanced back at the shuttle. The pilot gave him a thumbs up before sealing the hatch. "Good luck, sir. You're on your own now." Raiden's boots crunched against the sharp rocks as he moved away from the shuttle. The sun had fully set, leaving the sky a swirl of black and violet. Every shadow seemed alive, every rustle of leaves a potential threat. "Hello?" he called, his voice trembling slightly. "Is anything there?" Silence answered. Just the wind and the faint hum of strange, unseen life. He took a deep breath. "I have to move. Find shelter, survive." Hours later, Raiden stumbled across a small cave, hidden beneath twisted vines. Inside, The darkness pressed against him like a living thing. He lit a small lantern and scanned the walls. Strange markings, etched deep into the stone, glowed faintly. He didn't recognize them. They were alien. What the hell? He whispered. His hand hovered near his sidearm. I hope I don't meet anyone or anything tonight. A noise echoed from deeper in the cave. Low, guttural, almost like a growl, but intelligent. Raiden froze. His pulse raced. Show yourself, he demanded. Trying to sound braver than he felt, from the shadows, a pair of glowing eyes appeared. Raiden's breath caught. The creature was massive, with scales that shimmered in the lantern light. Its limbs were long, claws sharp, but it didn't attack. It tilted its head, watching him with a curious intelligence. Raiden swallowed hard. You're not going to kill me? He asked, his voice shaking. The creature made a sound low, like a purr or a laugh. And then slowly, it stepped closer, sniffing the air around him. Raiden took a cautious step back, but the creature only followed, its eyes never leaving his. I don't know if I can trust you, Raiden admitted, voice low. But I have to. You're the only company I have. For a moment, time seemed to stretch. The human and the alien studied each other, two predators in a world that wanted them both dead. Then, the creature lowered its head slightly, a gesture of acceptance. Raiden exhaled. All right, he whispered. We survived together, but don't get any ideas. Outside the cave, the wind howled, carrying whispers from the alien forests. Somewhere he knew other dangers waited enemies, both human and alien. But for now, he had a companion. An unlikely ally in a world that wanted him gone. And somewhere deep inside, Raiden felt a spark of hope. Maybe he would live. Maybe he would come back. And maybe, just maybe, the ones who sent him here would regret it. The night stretched on, shadows moving in rhythm with the glowing eyes of the creature by his side. Outside, the alien world awaited, filled with danger, mystery, and secrets waiting to be uncovered. And Captain Raiden knew this was only the beginning. The alien sun had vanished completely, leaving the landscape bathed in darkness. Raiden's lantern cast long, trembling shadows across the jagged walls of the cave. Beside him, the creature massive, scales glinting faintly, stood silently, its glowing eyes scanning the entrance. The wind outside carried strange sounds, like distant screams or the rustle of enormous wings. We need to move, Raiden whispered, his voice low. Staying here isn't safe. Something else is out there. The creature tilted its head, making a low, throaty sound. Raiden interpreted it as agreement. He gathered his gear, checking the small pack with rations and tools. All right, partner, he murmured, forcing a smile despite the fear. Let's see what this world really wants to throw at us. They stepped out into the alien night. The terrain was rough, rocks jagged underfoot, and glowing plants emitted an eerie light, pulsing in rhythm with some unknown heartbeat of the planet. Raiden felt the weight of every shadow, every rustle of leaves, pressing against him. Really expect me to just walk through this? He muttered. Like nothing could jump out and kill me? The creature padded silently ahead, its massive claws making no sound against the rock. Raiden followed, careful to mirror its movements. Hours passed, each step more tense than the last. Strange noises echoed around them, clicks, growls, and sometimes a low, melodic hum that made Raiden's skin crawl. Suddenly, a sharp screech pierced the air. Raiden spun around, heart pounding. In the distance, several smaller alien figures, thin and agile, darted between the glowing plants. Their eyes glowed red, and they moved with terrifying speed. Back! Back! Raiden shouted. We don't want trouble. The creatures didn't seem to hear. One leapt toward them, claws extended. The larger creature hissed and lunged forward, intercepting the attacker with a single precise strike. The small alien screamed, flying backward, then disappeared into the shadows. Raiden swallowed hard. You saved me again. I don't even know what you are, but thanks. The creature made a soft sound, almost like a laugh, then nudged him forward. Raiden took it as a sign. All right, he said, trying to steady his shaking hands. Let's keep going. Just keep me alive, okay? They moved deeper into the alien forest. The glowing plants grew taller, their tendrils brushing against Raiden's arms, leaving faint burns. Strange creatures skittered away at their approach, eyes glowing briefly before vanishing. Every step was a test of courage. What is this place? Raiden muttered. It's alive, it feels alive. A sudden movement ahead froze him in place. Two enormous shapes, silhouetted against the faint light, blocked the narrow path. They were bigger than anything Raiden had ever seen, their bodies coiled and muscular, with multiple limbs ending in sharp claws. Their eyes, bright and intelligent, fixed on him. The creature beside him growled low, a sound that rumbled like distant thunder. Raiden's heart raced. I don't think we can fight these, he whispered. The larger creature stepped forward. Raiden froze, expecting an attack. Instead, it studied him for a long moment, then slowly turned away, vanishing into the darkness. The second followed. Raiden exhaled, shaking. Why didn't they attack? The alien beside him nudged his arm gently, almost as if reassuring him. Guess it respects you, he muttered, a mix of disbelief and hope in his voice. Or maybe it's afraid of you now. They moved on, the forest thickening. Strange. Glowing vines twisted above, creating natural tunnels that seemed to guide their path. Every now and then, Raiden caught glimpses of movement, shadowy figures watching, but never coming close. Hours passed, and exhaustion began to take its toll. Raiden sank to a rock, rubbing his sore legs. I can't keep going like this forever, he admitted. I need shelter, or I'll die out here. The creature nudged him again, then patted ahead a few steps. It stopped beside a strange formation, rocks stacked in a circle, glowing faintly. What is that? Raiden asked. The creature sniffed the air, then made a sound that seemed urgent. Raiden followed its gaze. Inside the circle, the ground was flat, safe, protected from the undergrowth. Carefully he settled inside, motioning for the creature to stay close. This will do. For now, he said. We rest here. Tomorrow, we find a way out. Night deepened. Sounds of distant roars echoed through the alien forest. Raiden's eyes barely closed before he was stirred by a strange vibration beneath his feet. The ground shook slightly, and glowing plants flickered. What now? He whispered, panic rising. Is it an earthquake? A loud crack split the air. A massive shadow passed overhead, blocking the faint glow of the alien sky. Raiden's heart stopped. The creature beside him hissed and crouched, muscles tense. Then, with a deafening roar, a huge flying beast swooped down, its claws scraping the rocks. Raiden scrambled back, sliding across the dirt. The creature beside him leapt, colliding with the beast midder. There was a violent crash, a flurry of claws and wings. Raiden ducked, covering his head. After tense moments, silence returned. Raiden's eyes adjusted. The alien creature stood over the defeated beast, chest heaving, eyes glowing brighter. Raiden crawled forward, awed. You're amazing, he breathed. I don't even know how you did that. The creature nudged him again, like saying, we survived together. Raiden nodded, finally letting himself relax slightly. All right, he said softly. Tomorrow we explore more. We find shelter, we learn. And we survive. Together, the alien night stretched on. Strange calls echoed through the trees, but for the first time, Raiden felt a spark of confidence. With this creature beside him, he was no longer completely alone. Whatever comes next, he murmured, staring at the glowing horizon. We'll face it, you and me. And somewhere in the distance, beyond the alien forest, Raiden could sense that the planet was watching alive. Aware and full of dangers waiting for the unwary. But he was learning, adapting, and most importantly, he was no longer prey. The first light of the alien dawn cast a greenish glow over the jagged forest. Raiden stirred, rubbing the sleep from his eyes, and glanced at the creature beside him. It was curled in a protective stance, its glowing eyes still alert, scanning. The trees. Despite the dangers of the night, it had kept him safe. "You really saved me again," Raiden whispered, reaching out to touch its scaled side. The creature huffed softly, a sound that Raiden took as acknowledgement. "I guess we're stuck together now." He stood and surveyed the area. The cave had provided temporary safety, but he needed to move. Food was limited, and he had no idea what threats waited deeper in the forest. "We need to find shelter and water," he muttered. Scanning the glowing plants for anything edible, the creature stepped forward, nudging him toward a narrow path winding between massive trees. Its movements were careful, almost guiding him. Raiden followed, trying to mimic its silent, cautious steps. Hours passed, and the alien forest seemed alive around them. Leaves whispered, branches shifted, and strange creatures peeked from the shadows. Raiden jumped at every sound, but the creature stayed calm, always alert. "You're braver than I am," he admitted. "Or maybe smarter." Suddenly, a faint rustle came from above. Raiden froze. "Did you hear that?" The creature's eyes glowed brighter, and it crouched low. Raiden's pulse quickened as a massive shadow moved between the treetops. Then, with a rush of wind, a large winged predator swooped down. Its claws aimed straight for Raiden. "Get back!" he shouted, throwing himself aside. The creature lunged, colliding with the predator midair. There was a flurry of wings and claws. Raiden scrambled to his feet, unsure whether to help or hide. The battle ended with a deafening screech. When he looked up, the creature stood victorious, the predator retreating into the shadows. "You're incredible," Raiden said, panting. "I don't know how you do it, but thank you." The creature nudged him forward again, as if saying, "Come on, we have work to do." Raiden swallowed, trying to steady his nerves. "All right, let's find water, then shelter. Then, hopefully, we survive today." As they moved, Raiden noticed small signs of life, glowing fruits hanging from vines, strange moss covering rocks. He experimented cautiously, tasting a piece of fruit the creature nudged toward him. Surprisingly, it was sweet and nourishing. "Not bad," he muttered. "Better than I expected." They followed a faint stream, the water shimmering under the alien light. Raiden knelt, drinking carefully. "Finally," he sighed. The creature drank beside him, lapping the water like a trained animal. For the first time since landing, Raiden felt a small sense of comfort. "We can survive this," he whispered. "We just have to stay together." The forest seemed calmer for a moment, but calm on this planet was always deceptive. A distant rumble shook the ground. Raiden's head snapped up. "What now?" The creature growled low, scanning the horizon. "Something big," Raiden murmured, heart pounding. He grabbed a sturdy branch for defense. The forest around them trembled as a massive form emerged from the shadows. Another predator, bigger than the one from last night, with armored scales and glowing red eyes. Raiden froze, weighing his options. "We can't fight that," he said. "Quietly, we have to run." The creature gave a sharp, commanding hiss and bolted. Raiden ran after it, dodging roots and rocks. The giant predator lunged, claws scraping the earth where they had stood moments before. Raiden stumbled, but the creature stopped, turning to swipe at the attacker, forcing it to retreat again. Panting, Raiden looked at the alien beside him. "We make a good team," he said. "If only they knew what I've got with me. Maybe they'd think twice before sending me here." The duo pressed forward, navigating through dense undergrowth and twisted paths. As the sun climbed, Raiden began noticing patterns. The creature had an instinct for safety, leading him around dangerous areas and toward paths where water and food were accessible. He realized it was more than an ally. It was a teacher. "You're teaching me how to survive," he said aloud, a small smile breaking through his tension. "I guess I owe you my life more than once." By midday, they reached a clearing. Strange alien flowers opened slowly to the light, their petals glowing faintly. Raiden spotted a hollowed tree trunk near a small waterfall, a perfect temporary shelter. "This will do for now," he said, settling down beside the creature dot as he ate some more fruit. He realized that he had begun to understand the forest in ways he never thought possible. The creature was not just protecting him. It was showing him how to read the environment, to anticipate danger, and to find resources. "I'm learning," Raiden whispered. "Maybe I'm not completely helpless here." The afternoon passed, and Raiden began to feel a small confidence growing. He observed the alien creature hunting small animals, catching them with precision and speed. "I'll need to learn that too," he muttered. "If I'm going to survive here, I need more." Then luck. As the sun began to set, shadows stretched long across the clearing. Strange sounds echoed from the forest beyond. Raiden's muscles tensed again, but the creature stood firm beside him, ready. "Whatever comes next," he said, determination in his voice. "We face it together. I trust you. You trust me. That's enough for now." Night fell slowly, and the forest came alive with creatures unseen, their glowing eyes peering from every direction. Raiden stayed alert, but the presence of the alien beside him was reassuring. He realized that survival wasn't just about strength. It was about trust, awareness, and partnership. A low hum vibrated through the clearing, a subtle alien sound that seemed to come from the planet itself. Raiden's eyes widened. "It's watching us. Everything here is watching." The creature nudged him gently. Raiden took a deep breath. "Then we keep moving," he whispered. "Tomorrow we explore. Tomorrow we survive. Together." And under the alien sky, two unlikely allies settled in the clearing, ready to face whatever the world would throw at them next. The alien forest grew darker as night approached. Raiden crouched behind a thick cluster of glowing plants, his heart racing. The wind carried strange sounds, low growls, and distant screeches that made his stomach twist. Beside him, the creature's eyes glowed brighter, muscles tensed, ready to strike. "They're close," Raiden whispered. "I can feel it." The creature hissed softly, a warning that sent shivers down his spine. Suddenly, a branch snapped. Somewhere ahead, Raiden froze, holding his breath. Through the dim light, he saw movement, multiple figures darting between the glowing plants. They were smaller than the giant beasts he had faced before, but faster, thinner, and vicious. Their eyes glowed a fierce red. "Run!" he shouted, and the creature surged forward, its claws cutting through the undergrowth. Raiden scrambled to follow, stumbling over roots and jagged rocks. The alien attackers gave chase, their screeches filling the night air. Raiden could hear the creatures closing in, claws scraping against rocks and leaves. "Stay behind me," he yelled, glancing at the alien companion. But it ignored him, moving with purpose to intercept the attackers. Raiden's pulse raced as he watched the two sides collide. The smaller aliens hissed and lunged, but the larger creature was quick and strong. It swiped and struck with precision, forcing them back. "We need to escape," Raiden shouted, heart hammering. He spotted a narrow path leading up a rocky slope. "This way." He scrambled upward, dragging the creature along. The attackers hesitated at the edge of the clearing, then followed. Rocks tumbled beneath Raiden's feet, and he lost his balance for a moment. A red-eyed creature lunged at him. He swung a branch to defend himself, barely blocking its sharp claws. The alien beside him leapt, knocking the attacker aside, sending it crashing into the rocks. That Was too close, Reagan muttered, breathing hard. Way too close. They continued running, the forest twisting around them. Strange glowing vines threatened to snare them at every step, but the creature guided Raiden through the safest paths. The human realized it was more than protection, it was strategy. You're brilliant, he said, glancing at it. I'd be dead already without you. Hours passed, the forest seeming endless. Raiden's legs burned and his chest ached, but he couldn't stop. He had to survive. He had to learn. The alien beside him seemed tireless, agile, anticipating every danger before it appeared. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Raiden stumbled, grabbing a tree for support. What now? He gasped. From the shadows ahead, a massive form emerged, a colossal beast, bigger than anything he had seen. Its scales shimmered in the dim light, claws like curved blades, eyes glowing with malice. The creature beside him growled deep, a warning that echoed through the trees. Raiden's mind raced. We can't fight that, he shouted. We have to run. The massive beast roared, shaking the ground, and charged. Raiden bolted, following the alien companion as it led him through a narrow passage in the rocks. The giant predator swung its claws, tearing the earth around them. Rocks tumbled, and debris fell, narrowly missing Raiden. Keep moving, he yelled, panic rising. Don't stop. The smaller red-eyed attackers regrouped, attempting to flank them. The alien turned, slashing at them with powerful claws. One screeched in pain and retreated, disappearing into the forest shadows. Raiden's chest pounded, sweat streaming down his face. You're incredible, he muttered. I don't know how you do it. The path narrowed, leading to a cliff overlooking a glowing river far below. Raiden stopped, peering over the edge. We can't jump that, he whispered. The alien growled, scanning the area. Then, it nudged him toward a hidden rock formation nearby. This way, he realized, heart racing. They scrambled through a narrow tunnel, dark and suffocating, until they emerged in a small clearing. Raiden collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. The alien crouched beside him, alert, eyes scanning for any remaining threats. That was too close, he whispered, running a hand through his sweat-soaked hair. I thought we were done for. The creature nudged him gently, almost reassuring him. Raiden looked into its glowing eyes. I trust you, he admitted softly. You saved my life again. I don't know how to repay you. A low hum vibrated through the clearing, and Raiden froze. Something moved in the distant shadows, shifting unnaturally. Not again, he muttered. The creature hissed, muscles tensed, and moved closer to him. From the darkness, another group of smaller predators emerged, circling them silently. Raiden's stomach twisted with fear. We can't fight them all, he said. We need a plan. The alien glanced at him, then toward a cluster of glowing vines overhead. It leapt, grabbing one with powerful claws and swinging onto a higher ledge. Raiden hesitated, then followed, using the sturdy vine to pull himself up. From this higher ground, they had a better view of the attackers. Good thinking, Raiden whispered, trying to steady his shaking hands. We can use the terrain to our advantage. They stayed hidden as the predators prowled below, eventually losing interest and disappearing into the shadows. Raiden sank against the vine, relief washing over him. That was too close, he breathed. Way too close. The alien nudged him gently, as if to say, we survived together. Raiden smiled faintly, feeling a bond stronger than any he had known. Yeah, he whispered. Together. Night deepened, but for the first time, Raiden felt a glimmer of confidence. He had faced death multiple times and survived. The alien beside him had proven its strength, intelligence, and loyalty. And Raiden knew, no matter what the forest threw at them next, they would face it side by side. As the first stars appeared in the alien sky, Raiden whispered softly, tomorrow we explore. Tomorrow we survive. And no one, not them, not anything will stop us. The forest was alive with glowing eyes and strange noises, but Raiden no longer felt helpless. He had a partner, a protector, and a guide. And together, they would navigate this alien world, one dangerous step at a time. The alien sun rose slowly, casting a pale green light over the jagged landscape. Raiden stretched, muscles sore but alert. Last night had been brutal, and yet he felt a strange energy coursing through him. The alien creature beside him watched. Silently, glowing eyes reflecting the morning light. "You never sleep, do you?" Raiden muttered, nudging it. The creature let out a low hum, which Raiden took as amusement. "Yeah, I guess we're in this together. No rest for the living, right?" He stood and surveyed the surroundings. The forest was quiet, almost too quiet. Strange glowing vines hung overhead, moving slightly as if sensing his presence. He had learned to read the terrain and the alien signals, the subtle movements of leaves, the patterns of glowing plants. "I'm getting better," he whispered. "I think I'm learning how to survive here." The creature padded forward, and Raiden followed. Today, he decided, he would push further into the forest. Danger lurked everywhere, but survival required action, not hiding. Hours passed as they moved through alien landscapes, twisting rock formations, glowing plants, and deep crevices. Raiden's body ached, but his mind sharpened. He noticed small details: which plants were safe, which vines could support weight, the faint tracks of other creatures. "I see it now," he said softly. "Everything here. It has a pattern, a rhythm, and if I follow it, I can survive." Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. Raiden froze. "Not again," he whispered. The creature crouched low, muscles tense, tail lashing. A massive predator emerged from the shadows, eyes blazing red. Its scales glimmered under the dim light, teeth bared. Raiden's heart pounded. "All right," he muttered. "Time to see if I've learned anything." He grabbed a sturdy branch, feeling the weight in his hands. The creature beside him growled low, as if giving approval. Raiden took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Stay close," he whispered. The predator lunged, fast and deadly. Raiden dodged instinctively, swinging the branch to deflect a swipe. The creature beside him struck at the predator's flank, claws slashing with precision. Raiden ducked, rolled, and struck again, hitting the creature's leg. A sharp hiss escaped from the predator as it stumbled. "You see that?" Raiden panted, adrenaline surging. I'm actually fighting back." The predator roared, swiping wildly, but Raiden had learned to anticipate its moves. He dodged left, rolled under a glowing vine, and struck again with the branch, hitting its shoulder. The creature beside him pounced, landing a powerful blow that sent the predator stumbling backward. Raiden's confidence grew. "We can do this," he shouted, feeling a rush of energy. He attacked again, using his weight and momentum, striking precise blows guided by instinct. The predator hissed in pain, finally retreating into the shadows. Raiden sank to his knees, breathing heavily. The alien creature nudged him, tail brushing his arm. "We make a good team," he said, smiling despite exhaustion. "I think I'm learning from you, and maybe I'm stronger than I thought." The rest of the day was spent moving cautiously through the forest. Raiden began testing himself, climbing rocky outcrops, jumping across streams, and navigating narrow paths with precision. The alien companion led him through dangerous areas, letting him learn by doing. "You're teaching me everything," Raiden said aloud, panting as he climbed a particularly steep rock face. "I didn't think I could survive here, but I think I can." By late afternoon, they reached a high ridge overlooking the alien forest. Raiden gazed at the glowing plants stretching endlessly below. "Look at this," he whispered. "It's beautiful, but it's deadly too. And I'm learning how to face it." The alien beside him made a soft, approving sound. Raiden reached out, touching its scaled side. I don't know what you are, but you've changed everything for me. I'm not the same human who landed here days ago. A sudden rustle in the distance snapped his attention to the present. Shadows moved among the glowing plants, larger than before. Raiden's pulse quickened. Looks like trouble, he muttered. But this time, I think I'm ready. The predator emerged, larger than Raiden had expected. With armored scales and blazing eyes, it charged. Raiden planted his feet firmly, gripping the branch tightly. Stay back, he shouted. The creature beside him lunged forward, claws slicing. Through the air, Raiden dodged and struck, remembering every movement, every instinct the forest had taught him. He rolled, jumped, and used his environment, rocks, vines, and shadows to his advantage. Each strike was precise, each movement calculated. The predator faltered, surprised by the human's agility and determination. You see that? Raiden shouted, adrenaline pumping. I'm not helpless anymore. The alien beside him delivered a final blow, forcing the predator to retreat. Raiden exhaled, chest heaving, a grin spreading across his face. We did it, he said. I actually fought back and survived. As night fell, Raiden and the creature settled near a cluster of glowing vines. He felt stronger, smarter, and more confident than ever before. Tomorrow, he whispered, we push further. We survive, and we're not going to let anything stop us. The alien beside him nudged him gently. Raiden smiled, feeling a bond stronger than anything he had known. Together, he said softly, always together. The alien night came alive around them, glowing eyes and strange sounds, filling the forest. But Raiden no longer felt fear. He had power, skill, and trust, an unlikely ally who had taught him to fight, survive, and endure. And somewhere deep in the forest, unseen eyes watched, aware of a new force emerging, a human who was no longer weak, a fighter who had learned the ways of the alien world. The alien sky faded behind him as Raiden climbed the rocky cliff toward the shuttle landing zone. His muscles ached, but his determination burned brighter than ever. The forest behind him seemed quieter now, almost as if it were holding its breath. Beside him, the alien creature moved silently, tail flicking, eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. We're almost there, Raiden whispered, scanning the horizon. And then, we go home. The creature's low hum sounded almost like agreement. Raiden had grown to trust it completely. It had saved his life countless times, and now together, they were going to face the humans who had betrayed him. The shuttle landing zone came into view, metallic structures glinting under the rising sun. Raiden slowed, taking in the sight. He knew the humans wouldn't recognize him at first. They had expected him to fail. To die, you ready for this? He muttered, more to himself than the alien. The creature nudged him gently. Yeah, he said firmly. We're ready. They stepped onto the platform. Raiden's heart pounded as alarms suddenly blared. Motion sensors had detected them. Human soldiers poured out of the command center, weapons raised, eyes wide with shock. Captain Raiden? A voice called, trembling. We thought you were dead. Raiden didn't answer immediately. He scanned the soldiers. Their confident expressions were gone, replaced by fear, uncertainty, and panic. Behind him, the alien crouched, massive claws digging into the metal floor, ready to protect him. I'm not dead, Raiden said slowly, voice low but controlled. And I'm not alone. The soldiers hesitated, weapons trembling. One stepped forward. Sir, what is that? Raiden turned, letting the alien take the lead. It rose fully, towering, scales shimmering, eyes blazing. The humans gasped, some stumbling backward. The creature let out a low roar, shaking the platform. Raiden's heart raced with satisfaction. This was his leverage. This was proof that they had underestimated him. I was sent here to die, Raiden continued, voice calm but cutting. By you, by people I trusted, but I survived. And I brought something you didn't expect. A commander barked orders. Open fire, Raiden raised a hand, stopping the soldiers. No, he said firmly. If you attack, this ends badly. But if you listen, maybe you learn something. The alien moved closer, scanning, alert to any threat. Raiden could feel its power, its loyalty. Do you see now? He asked. You thought I was weak. You thought I couldn't survive. But look at me. Look at what I've become. A soldier whispered to another, eyes wide. It's huge, and it looks intelligent. Raiden's lips curled into a faint smile. It is intelligent. And it saved my life more times than I can count. You sent me to die. And instead, I came back stronger, wiser, and alive, because I didn't fight alone. The commander swallowed hard, trying to mask his fear. Captain Raiden. I know what you were thinking, Raiden interrupted, stepping closer, gaze sharp. You thought I would fail. You thought I would be gone forever. But I came back, and if you ever underestimate me again. He didn't need to finish. The alien beside him growled, low and threatening, making the point clear. The soldiers shifted nervously. Some lowered their weapons slightly, unsure of what to do. Raiden's mind raced. He could demand answers, punishment, revenge, but he had something far more valuable now, respect. And leverage. I want names, Raiden said, voice steady. The people who sent me there, who wanted me dead. The commander hesitated, then spoke. Sir, it was orders from high command. They what? Raiden snapped. They expected me to fail? To die? Did you think I wouldn't? Survive the unknown? Did you think the aliens would defeat me? The commander swallowed again, clearly intimidated. We didn't expect this. We thought you wouldn't return. Raiden exhaled slowly, watching the fear in their eyes. You see, strength isn't just about weapons or numbers. It's about intelligence, trust, and learning. And I've learned more than you can imagine out there. This planet, it tested me, and I came back stronger. The alien beside him shifted, a subtle reminder of power. Raiden's gaze swept across the soldiers. I survived because I adapted, because I trusted, and because I never gave up. You sent me to die, but I came back with proof that underestimating me was your first mistake. Whispers spread among the soldiers. Some lowered their weapons completely. Fear had replaced confidence. Raiden took a step forward. Now you have two choices. You accept that I survived, that I have this companion, and you respect that, or you attack and you'll regret it. Silence fell. Even the commander didn't move. Raiden glanced at the alien. Its presence alone was enough to make the humans hesitate. Together, they were a force beyond expectation, unexpected, powerful, and dangerous. Finally, the commander spoke, voice trembling. Captain Raiden, we understand. We respect your survival. And your ally. Raiden nodded slowly, letting the tension linger. Good, he said, because if you don't, you'll learn the hard way. The alien crouched beside him, tail swishing. Raiden placed a hand on its side. We're stronger together. You should remember that before you send anyone to die again. The humans stared, some still shaken, others awed. Raiden's eyes swept the platform, taking in the reality. He had survived betrayal, alien dangers, and impossible odds. And now he had returned alive, powerful, and in control. As the sun rose higher, casting its alien green light over the landing zone, Raiden whispered softly, more to himself than anyone else. I came back. And I'm not the same man who left. And next time, they'll think twice before underestimating me. The alien beside him roared low, a sound of dominance and loyalty. Raiden smiled faintly, knowing that whatever came next, he had the ultimate ally by his side. Together, they had turned betrayal into power. and the humans would never forget it. The command center trembled as Raiden walked through the main hall, the alien creature following closely behind. Soldiers scattered at the sight, weapons clattering to the floor. Whispers spread like wildfire. No one had expected him to return. Alive, stronger, and with such a terrifying companion. Captain Raiden. The commander stammered, trying to maintain authority. This is not necessary. Raiden stopped and turned, eyes sharp and commanding. Not necessary? He repeated, voice low and dangerous. Do you know what was necessary? Trust, loyalty, courage. You sent me to die, expecting nothing. And now, look at me. The alien beside him growled softly, a low sound that made the soldiers step back. Raiden smiled faintly. This is what you don't understand. Strength isn't just in your weapons or your numbers. It's in knowing who's by your side and what you're capable of when you refuse to give up. One soldier whispered, "He's changed. Stronger than any of us imagined." The commander swallowed hard. "Captain, we didn't know you'd survive. You thought I would fail," Raiden interrupted, stepping closer, voice icy. "You thought I couldn't handle the unknown. You thought the aliens would defeat me. But I survived, not by chance, not by luck, but because I adapted, I learned, and I fought." He glanced at the alien companion. Its massive claws scraped the floor lightly, tail swishing in warning. Raiden's heart swelled with a strange pride. "This is my ally," he said. "It saved my life countless times, and now it stands beside me to show you the consequences of underestimating me." The commander swallowed. Fear etched on his face. We understand," he stammered. "We respect your survival, Captain Raiden, and your ally." Raiden's lips curved into a faint smile. "Good, but respect isn't given, it's earned. And you're going to earn it. Starting now." He motioned toward the central hall, where high command had gathered, thinking him gone. Soldiers hesitated, unsure whether to obey or flee. Raiden's presence demanded attention, and slowly, all eyes turned to him. "You wanted me dead," he said, voice echoing through the hall. "You betrayed your own soldier, sent me to face death alone. But I am not the man you left behind. I am stronger, smarter, and alive. And this," he gestured to the alien, which growled menacingly, "this proves it." The room fell silent. High Command had never seen anything like it, a human standing fearlessly, accompanied by a massive alien creature radiating power and intelligence. Panic mixed with awe. Raiden stepped closer, voice calm but sharp. "Now listen carefully. I survived betrayal, alien predators, impossible terrain, and overwhelming odds. And I came back, not for revenge, but to make sure this never happens again. To me, or anyone else under your command." A young officer muttered nervously. "Sir, what do we do?" Raiden's eyes glinted. "You do exactly what you should have done from the start. You lead with integrity, you value life, and you respect the strength you underestimate." The commander swallowed, voice trembling. "Captain Raiden, we understand. We will change. We will." Raiden held up a hand. "Good. Actions. Speak louder than words. Prove it, and remember this day. Not because I threatened you, but because you learned that betrayal has consequences, and that those who survive it are never the same again." The alien moved beside him, a silent reminder of power and loyalty. Raiden exhaled slowly, scanning the room. Soldiers lowered their weapons, fear replaced by respect. The room had changed not just for him, but for everyone present. "Tomorrow," he said softly, looking at the alien, "we move forward, together, and we make sure no one ever doubts us again." The commander nodded, barely audible. "Yes, Captain Raiden, we will follow your lead." Raiden turned toward the windows, the rising sun casting a greenish light over the facility. "Good," he whispered, "because from now on, strength isn't just survival. It's unity, trust, and knowing who stands beside you." The alien roared softly, a sound of dominance and protection. Raiden smiled faintly, knowing that together, they had turned betrayal into power. They had survived the impossible, and now, they controlled their destiny. The soldiers whispered among themselves, realizing that the human they had tried to eliminate was now untouchable. Raiden's confidence radiated through the hall, a presence they could not ignore. As the sun climbed higher, Raiden stepped back, letting the alien take the lead for a moment. "Go ahead," he said. "Show them what we've become." The alien moved forward, massive form filling the hall, eyes glowing with authority. Soldiers scattered, a few gasping, some kneeling, and others backing away entirely. Raiden felt satisfaction, but he also felt a strange calm. The threat was over, at least for now. He turned back to the commander. "Remember this," he said. "You wanted me gone. You sent me to die. But I came back, not as a victim, not as a weak human, but as someone you can't ignore. And next time, think twice before underestimating anyone." The commander nodded, silent, unable to speak further. Fear, respect, and awe mingled in his eyes. Raiden's gaze swept the room, and he knew that he had achieved more than survival. He had claimed his place, and no one would ever doubt him again. Raiden looked at the alien beside him. "We did it," he whispered. "We survived, we conquered, and we're stronger together than anything they could ever imagine." The alien nudged him gently, tail brushing his arm. Raiden smiled faintly. "Yes, together." Outside, the alien sun rose fully, casting its green light across the facility. The humans had learned a lesson they would never forget. Raiden had survived the impossible, returned with power, and stood unchallenged. And beside him, a loyal companion waited, ready for whatever came next. The forest, the betrayal, the danger, they were all behind him now. What lay ahead would be faced as it always had been, together, strong and unstoppable.